Hi.
Welcome back to Bad Breaches.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Joy.
And we're the Bad Breaches.
I'm gonna need you to pick it up.
Okay. Sorry. Hey, Joy. How are you?
I'm good. I'd give myself like a 7.
On a scale of 1 to
20.
20.
No, I'm just kidding. On probably like a scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10, you're a 7?
Oh, no, that's high.
Yeah, I was just like, 7.
I'm like a 3.
Okay, wow.
I want to be a 7.
I just got whiplash. No, I'm like a 5, I'd say. You can, if those listening, you can tell by my voice, I'm a little under the weather.
I'm just.
It's because fall is rapidly approaching.
Yes. What is it
Thank
here?
God.
I'm tired of it being 90 degrees. When are we done?
Listen.
I'm listening.
That's all I've got to say. I'm so tired of the weather. I want it to be cold. I want my sweaters to be taken out of the closet.
You want sweater weather?
I want sweater weather. I'm basic enough to admit that.
I want like hot coffee, big blankets, lots of cuddle weather.
I should not be drinking cold brew still in October.
Preach. I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
I don't want cold drinks. Okay, I want cold weather. Let's make it happen.
Like, I drink hot coffee in the mornings. God's obviously a fan of Bad Breaches.
Hey God, it's me.
Okay, so.
What were your highs this week? If this sounds like a fever dream, I'm sorry. We don't have it in us to rein it in.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can with what we've got. My highs and lows this week. My high. Wow, that's actually really sad that I can't think of one.
Oh my God.
My low, I got called on in 2 classes this week, like consecutive, like back to. It was just a lot. I got called on, and then my high. I love football season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love football. Sorry, that took a lot to think of. I love football season, and I'm really glad that I'm getting to watch games every week, and it's something to look forward to, because that's something I really need in law school is things to look forward to.
Right.
So that when I'm in the midst of a breakdown like we are, I can be well, soon I get to watch whomever play football.
Right.
What are your highs and lows?
I would say my highs. Oof. My high. Oh, I had a really good conversation with my best friend this week.
Oh.
And that was really nice. And
I love
it was
that.
just really grounding.
Yeah. Ooh, I need some of that.
Yeah, it I don't know, it always helps to put things in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. And then my lows, the rest of the week. Probably. The lows were me reading back over my George midterm.
Listen.
That I thought I killed. And I did okay. So.
Yeah. But we can only grow from that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I feel the feedback was really helpful.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Cool. Go us.
So,
speaking of, you said your high was you had a really good conversation with your friends. Today, we're going to talk about social interactions, both within the law school and our law school peers, and with people we know outside of the law school. So do you want to start with civilians?
Yeah. So just for anyone that's not sure what we're talking about, civilians are literally any people that don't have the pleasure of being in law school, more have the pleasure of not being in law school.
Yeah, that.
And I think that it's just really hard to talk to them, especially if you're meeting people that you've never met before. It's a little bit easier to talk to your friends just because you kind of have some base knowledge of what's going on and who they are, and they get it.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you meet someone and they're oh, what do you do? And you're oh, I'm in law school. They're oh, cool, tell me about it. I'm just I can't.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if this is a thing for you, but I just feel I do not have that much brain power at the end of the week or just at any point in time.
Absolutely.
To entertain any conversation.
Well, part of it though is where to start.
Right.
So they're like, oh, how is it? Like, what's it like? And you're like 100 things. I know when I get that, like 100 things come to me at once. Like, it's interesting, but like the worst academic experience I've ever had as far as like the rigor and like what's expected of you and all of that, and like your friends that you're making are like smart too. And it's just a lot going on. So I don't even know. Like, I'll tell you, I just went and got. Sure, I understand. Okay, I just got an Apple Watch, and I keep accidentally activating Siri. So if you heard that, whoopsie. So I went and got a smoothie the other day, and it was just me and then there's 2 little girls working there, and they were women. I don't know why I said little girls. They were my age probably. I'm turning into my father. It's fine. Me and the 2 girls working there, and so they were very polite. They were asking me like, "Oh, like how's it going?" I was like, oh, "Well, it's it's Friday. I'm like survived the week," and I was like, like midterms and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, like I just took one in like environmental health science. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, yeah. And fun. They just like kept talking about it. And like they were both talking about their different midterms. So I was like, yeah, well, I'm just in law school. So we don't really have any grades till the end. Like the midterms that we're trying not to stress about don't matter, but we're still stressing out about them.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah. So the only grade's the final. I was like,
how does that make you feel?
Yeah. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
I kind of just like, yikes.
Okay.
And they were like, have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah, it's just different. It's just different. And coming from the perspective where we've been in undergrad already, and like we know what that is and like what it was like to like struggle with things in undergrad.
Right.
Like I look back and I'm like, I would take undergrad again, like
in a heartbeat.
If
I could right now.
Yeah.
Re-enroll.
Yeah, just because
literally do anything else. Can I be a teacher? Can I?
Just because this is so much.
Yeah.
It's just so much and it's so different.
No,
and
I feel that. Okay, have you ever like told someone that like, oh, I'm in law school, and then you have an undergrad go, oh, I'm pre-law.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what to say to that. I just want to be like, turn back now. Like it's only downhill from here.
See,
it's not the same thing.
I've seen like, oh, I'm going to law school, like as the response.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, where? They're like, oh, I want to, and that's different.
Yeah, no, I am going to law school means I am currently enrolled in a ABA accredited law school.
Because you don't know that you're going.
Yeah.
Like, have you taken the LSAT? Have you applied? Like, you don't know that you're going.
Even if you applied, you've been accepted. Like, there's so many things that happen between now and August. Don't come to me with that.
Yeah, no. Just say, like, I'm planning on going to law school. It's just a little verbiage.
I'm a current applicant.
Yes, I'm applying to law school.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh, so fun.
Yeah,
Don't do
how
it.
do you
Take
feel? Do you want realistic advice?
Right.
Because we'll give it to you. But just a lot.
Yeah, no, it is.
Have you seen, I don't know why this is such a thing. I've seen it online in so many different spaces, but like BuzzFeed or something will like share a video and someone will be talking about their experiences in law school. It's traumatic. Everyone has traumatic experience. That's fine. But in the comments underneath, it's always people talking about how hard nursing school is.
And you know what? This is not to like discredit nursing school.
No, my mom's a nurse.
Nursing school is probably super hard. I don't know. I'm not good with anatomy. But my thing is like, this could possibly sound really insensitive.
We'll let it sound how it is.
We can bleep it out if we need to. But that being said, I just like really hate when people try to like all lives matter your struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
I absolutely do.
I'm like, oh, this is hard. And they're like, oh, well, my life's hard too. Like, no, but we're not talking about you.
Right.
We're talking about me and my struggles. And we can talk about you and your struggles after. But right now, just shut up and listen.
Yes, you and your struggles should not invalidate the fact that I'm also struggling.
Right. We're not going to sit here and like compare struggles.
Yes.
Be like, oh, well, like that. No, that's not what I need right now.
No.
This is my safe space. That BuzzFeed video was my safe space.
I needed that to like be like, I needed to commiserate with that. Like,
yeah.
Yes, this is hard. Oh my gosh, I also had a shitty cold call and like, I wanted to die on the spot.
Right.
I haven't, but you can feel that.
Yeah. It's rough.
It's rough.
I don't even.
And like, I know my friend, like, I have so many friends that ask me, like, how's it going? Like, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, sometimes I just don't want to, like, I'd like to have a conversation with someone outside of law school that doesn't want to talk about law school stuff.
Yeah.
Because in my daily life now, I, like, make jokes about contracts.
Right. And it's really hard because normally, like, when you talk to people, you talk about your personal life.
Yeah.
But, like, law school has become our personal life.
Absolutely.
And so, what do you even talk about?
Yeah.
I don't have time to do anything else. I don't.
Like, I have friends back home that are, like, getting married and, like, having kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I gotta go study for Civ-Pro.
Right. Let me read this towards reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really hard because I want to be able to empathize and, like, be there for them. And I honestly just don't feel like I have anything left to give.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I am tapped out. But I feel like it's just so callous to be like, I can't talk to you. I can't do this. I can't help you with your problems. Still a great friend, but
Yeah, I mean,
please don't.
just yesterday I was, like, in a group message with some of my really good friends from undergrad, and we just hadn't talked in a while, and said something, and everyone was like, wait, what? That's a life development that you experienced that none of us knew about? And I was like, oh, like, sorry. I just haven't had it in me to, like, go through discussing this. Yeah, you know, like, to broadcast everything that's going on in my life, because so much of that is just law school, and, like, so much of that is just me, like, feeding all of my energy into, like, reading and preparing and, like, being in school all day, every day.
Yeah.
And then going home and sleeping. Like, I don't even go to the grocery store.
I know.
Like, my pantry is so sad looking.
And that's the thing. I think it goes back to that, like, self-care piece and trying to, like, set aside time where you can do that. But at the same time, if I have to choose between, like, going to get groceries or, like, doing, like, practical things or, like, sitting in bed and just, like, completely letting my mind veg out for an hour, I'm gonna choose, like, laying in bed and, like, not having to do any work.
I feel that 100%. Like, sometimes just the thought of, like, having to get up and do things after I finished all my work.
Right.
Like, I feel like I've earned the right to not have to do anything after I finish all my work, you know? Right.
And I don't know how you time manage in such a way that you can get it all done and feel like you're being a productive, healthy, like, human being that's taking care of all of your needs, because that honestly, to me, just right now, does not seem like it's something that's possible. I don't. And, okay, I'm going on a tangent. But that's
our show.
That's, like, the biggest thing that bothers me with, like, the you can have it all myth. Because I'm like, you really can't.
One of our professors told us that work-life balance is bullshit. That what rich people do is farm out all the things they don't have time to do and they don't want to do. They hire other people to do it.
Right. But, I mean, we're poor.
Exactly. No, exactly. So, like, it's easy to say that from a, like, perspective of, like, you're, like, an adult and you have a, like, career and you've already been through law school.
And that's so aspirational. Like,
you know, like,
I would love to be there.
Yes, and I hope to be there one day. But right now,
I'm eating ramen.
Yeah, like, I'm still responsible for, like, feeding myself and clothing myself and, like...
Right.
In a way that I think is different from undergrad, because undergrad, how much time were you spending outside of class working on classwork?
Like, none.
Like, none.
Yeah. And I don't know, and the thing is, like, I guess we're kind of switching from talking to civilians to talking to other law school students. But, like, any time that there's any type of, like, socializing between you and fellow students, like, you're spending money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, let's go get food. Let's go grab drinks. Let's, like, go do something. Yeah. Because it's better than, like, sitting around in the library. And I totally understand that. And I totally think that that's, like, worth it and something that I like to do, without a doubt. But I just don't know how we're supposed to, like...
How sustainable is that?
Yeah, because I'm like, it's October and my finances are looking pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like...
I'm hoping for the lottery to hit soon. Just a little bit of it.
Same.
Just a tiny bit.
Right.
Like, I could split it with, like, one other person. And maybe be okay.
Oh, my goodness.
But no, I really do feel that, like, just... And another thing, spending money, but being... I just realized like a day or two ago that I haven't spent any time outside of the law school with people where I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I've gone to outside of the law school socially has included alcohol.
As in, like, hanging out with anybody or just, like, any...
I mean, it's like, let's come over, like, let's have wine and complain, like...
Oh, yeah.
At, like, someone's apartment, or let's go to bar review and, like, get shitty.
Right.
You know? Or, like, even events, like, hosted by the law school, which I appreciate.
Right.
I mean, alcohol is just a component of that. And so, I mean, it's just hard balancing, like... I mean, we've talked before about how big a deal alcoholism is in, like, the legal community and how so much of that starts in law school.
Right.
Balancing, like, knowing that and trying to be on the lookout for that with the fact that it's, like, omnipresent.
Right. Well, that's my thing is I think that it's totally wonderful and valuable to say, hey, just so you guys know, alcoholism runs rampant in the legal communities, but also maybe it runs rampant because literally every event is like centered around alcohol.
Yes. So
like you're going to barrister's ball, alcohol, semi-formal, alcohol, literally any mixer with anybody, alcohol.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a chicken and the egg. Like,
right. Everyone's an alcoholic because they became an alcoholic in law school because the only thing that you can do is drink.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure, like, if you really wanted to, you could, like, go do yoga with people. But, like, no.
Like, what is the more accessible option?
Right. Also, if I'm spending $20, I'm getting something out of it other than yoga. We can do yoga at home. Okay?
I mean, fair.
Pull up a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Stream that to your TV.
Yeah. Downward dog it out.
Literally, turn off your lights, maybe turn on a lamp so it feels like the same lighting situation.
Light a candle.
Yes. Have some, like, soft music playing in the background. Like, set the mood, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I feel that. But then, if you think about it, like, going out is so much more expensive than, like, just getting the drinks. You know what I'm saying? So, sure, let's say you already have an outfit. You have to lift your Uber downtown. You have to go get the drinks. And then after you get the drinks, everybody's like, oh my gosh.
Let's go eat.
I'm so hungry. Let's go get some food. And you're just like, ugh. Okay, so you've already spent like $8 on your Lyft. And you've spent roughly like $20 to $25 on drinks.
And then surge pricing your way home.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so I'm like, every time you go out, you're looking to spend like $40 to $50, and that's just not sustainable because you're not only going out once a weekend.
No.
That's not a thing. How are you going to have friends? Because you can only have friends because you go out. And then you have drunk memories, and then you talk about it when you see each other. And that's just the culture, and that's ridiculous.
I mean, it is
what it is.
It is what it is. Well, also, another thing about friends in, like, law school is I think this is, like, probably the first academic experience we're having where everyone's 21.
Right.
So, like, an undergrad, I mean, most people aren't that old. Like, you know, there's a lot of younger people. So I think that, like, the, just the nature of that.
Right.
Is just, oh, we're all 21. Why can't we have a drink? Like, why not? Did we not earn it? Because, see, I'm really big about, like, treating myself because that's just who I am as a person.
You earned your alcohol.
I always, like, whenever someone's like, should I go get a muffin? Like, and I'm always like, you deserve it. You're worth it.
Muffin.
You're worth it. Every time. Like, that's my mantra for people. And so I tell myself that, like, when I want something, not just, like, alcohol, because I try not to use that as a coping mechanism. And I have a funny story about that in a minute. But I feel like I've earned things. Just, like, I don't want to do anything else today because I finished all my reading. Like, I just want to lay in bed.
Right.
And I feel like I've earned that. Yeah. But at the same time, knowing that, like, you can't just go have 14 drinks every time you finish a difficult reading and you're stressed out.
It needs to be proportional.
Yeah, you know? So, like, maybe go out once a week.
Right.
Bar review because you, like, made it. You know, you've survived this far.
No, and I think that's kind of the approach that I've been taking is you can go to bar review because you're caught up and you've done everything, and that's just what happens at the end of the week. But it's also, I like treating it as a you can go, but you don't have to.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes it's so much more rewarding to just have a nice bubble bath, not talk to anybody, turn off your phone, turn off like all screens and just chill.
Joy, I went to bed the other day at 9:30 because I had a really bad day, and I woke up refreshed.
Yes.
My whole outlook on life was better.
Yeah.
My skin was clear, like all of it.
Unproblematic.
Yes, my whole life was just
fixed.
because I just didn't do anything. I did my reading. I said, you know what? It is 9:30. I am tired. My bed is calling my name.
Right.
And I answered.
You know, that's what I just think it keeps going back to like that time management piece that I just have not figured out yet.
Yeah.
Because you can get everything done in the amount of time, but you also still need to outline. You still need to review. You need to like go over supplements. You need to understand what you didn't understand from 2 weeks ago, so you can not have like.
I think that's what's so annoying is that I finished my reading and I'm like, cool, that wasn't that bad. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I don't have to do anything else. But then I think, I need to do all those things you just listed. I have so much more that needs to be done.
Right. And that's what's so stressful is you can always do more. You always don't need to do more.
Yeah.
But there's always something else that you could do. You could drill, you could do practice problems. You could make sure your outline's super tight. You could do so many other things, and I just
don't want to.
I don't want to. I don't have the energy to necessarily do that. I don't think that my brain is at a point where it can take on any more stress.
Yeah. It's just... And with that... Wait, no, I kind of have a funny story.
Okay.
Did I tell this already? Whatever, it's our show. So the other day, I was having a bad day, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to call my mom instead of, opening this bottle of wine I have. I'll call and talk to my mom, and she'll make me feel better, right? So I was talking to her, and I was like, yeah, I've just been, really struggling. I've just been really stressed out. There's just a lot going on. She said, well, just get you a glass of wine. And I was
You're my glass of wine.
Mom, you were supposed to be that.
Right.
I was calling you, and it's because as a more appropriate coping mechanism than just immediately turning to a drink.
Right.
And I didn't tell her because I was like, I know that was coming from a good place.
Right.
So I just finished talking to her, and I didn't have a glass of wine, but I was still annoyed because I was like, Mom, do a little bit better, please.
Has your relationship with your family changed since being in law school? Do you feel like? Because I think in undergrad I used to talk to my mom all of the time.
Yeah, same. I haven't talked to my dad since law school started.
Really?
Yeah.
I've talked to my dad maybe twice.
Yeah, I literally didn't have time to go see. I went home one weekend and I literally didn't have time to go see him.
And it's just so rough. Mm-hmm. And I feel so bad because there's so many people back home that I just wanted to talk to and get to know and let them know how I'm doing. And I said I would check in and all this other stuff. And I can't. I barely have time to talk to my family. Mm-hmm. I definitely don't have time to talk to these wonderful, wonderful people in my life. But
it's just a lot. Yeah. It's just so much.
Really
and maintaining relationships in law school, we're gonna have to do an episode on that.
Right.
But just it's been so. It's just been more difficult than I thought it was gonna be.
It's the same.
I thought people would understand a little bit more. You're in law school now, that's going to take up all your time. And I think part of it is a perspective thing, not knowing what it's like unless you've experienced it firsthand. Because I certainly didn't realize, I knew it was going to be bad.
Not this bad.
But I did not know it was going to be this bad.
This is bad.
Yeah. And it's nice that we have each other.
Right.
And then we have other people in our class
and
that we can, and this podcast, that we can have to get through that. But I think I think that my family is used to being a support system for me.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not turning to them as much as they're used to because I know that they don't necessarily have what I need.
Right.
But the people in my class do.
Right.
Because they're experiencing it with me. We're very much experiencing the same stresses and struggles. So I turn more to the people that I'm with and I see every day and spend the majority of my time with.
Right.
That I do turn to my family.
And this is kind of one of the things that you have to do on your own. Like, it's just like not like on your own, but independent from your family. This isn't one of those, it's not like undergrad where like they're like, oh, I know someone that can help you with this or do this, or like there's people that can help you network.
Yeah.
But there's not anyone that can help you get through like this actual substance of law school, because so much of learning it is struggling with it.
Yeah, like that's the point of it, is you have to struggle.
So that you can get to where you need to be.
So I'm trying to appreciate it more, but we'll see.
Okay, so I know something that we have both had to deal with was, how do you deal with maybe talking about politics in law school? I know that it's one of the things that's come up a lot more recently just because of the Kavanaugh hearings and things like that. But I think that that's something that's really hard to navigate, just in like trying to make friends and keep it light, because the subject matter is so hard.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's interesting. I particularly have a different perspective on things, just because we're learning about the law and the way that the law works, the way the systems that govern us work. So my perspective on politics has changed, just as far as like how I think about my like personal politics. But it is difficult to be in the situation where you feel like you have so much in common with everyone around you.
Yes. And
then it's kind of jarring when you realize that your politics are almost like diametrically opposed to someone that you've like grown really close to. And it's hard not to like question the values there.
Right.
It's hard not to, just because you've grown close to these people. I mean, we've been together for what seems like eons now.
Literally. It's been 8 weeks, but it feels like 8 years.
Yes. Like, you've grown close to these people, and to realize that some of their views are just like completely contrary to like who you are and what you believe. It's difficult.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you are just in a situation, and the classes your first semester specifically don't really involve your worldview or like the way that you think. Like, that just never comes up. And so when it seeps into a conversation, you're like, oh, that's weird. Like, that feels weird. What do we do? What do we say? Like, how do we deal with this?
Yeah.
Because you could honestly, like, theoretically go the whole year and it would never come up, because the things that you're talking about that relate to class have nothing to do.
Yeah, we're talking about like substantial issues that more or less have a right or wrong answer.
Exactly.
Like, is this how you apply this rule?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not like you don't need to know people's like worldview to talk about like assault and battery.
Yeah, because it's just, that's how it works.
Yeah. So it's really weird, and it feels almost kind of like wrong when you find out things about people and you're like, oh, like I had like come to all of these conclusions about who you are as a person.
Right.
And like the new ones don't necessarily change how I feel about you or like what that means. But it definitely,
there's like a pause there.
Feels weird. Because I have this like idea of who you are that doesn't necessarily mesh with who you actually are. So weird. Okay, but on top of that, there's the complete opposite end, from like super meaningful and deep conversations to just like petty conversations about what our friend likes to call the law school rumor mill. And I know a lot of people have just been like, oh, our law school is so bad about rumors. And I'm like, this is literally every law school.
Yeah.
You have nothing better to do than just like talk about people's personal lives, because what else are we going to do?
Literally, what else are we going to do?
There's nothing to do.
Well, I mean, also think about it in terms of like, what are we doing for social events? We're going out and getting drunk.
Yes.
What do people do when they're drunk? Stupid shit.
Right. Well, and then you do stupid shit, but everybody around you is drunk. So the way that you're remembering the stupid shit is probably not actually super accurate.
Right.
And then it just spirals. So I know that, like, if I told you, like, oh my gosh, Susie Q has, like, oh my gosh, Susie Q slept with Ryan. Can you believe it? And then, like, you turn around and you're like, oh, Susie Q slept with Ryan and James. Can you believe it? And then, like, next thing you know, Susie Q is, like, pregnant and she's going to drop out. And it's just, like, it all spirals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's super interesting because at the same time, this is, like, the most adult environment I've ever been in and also the most childish.
I literally say that I'm in grown-up middle school. People are like, oh, like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm in grown-up middle school. It's law school, but literally it's, other than the subject matter, we're all in middle school. Because you're spending so much time together. Think about it. In high school, you didn't have classes with the same people all of the time.
Undergrad either, like.
Yeah, no, in undergrad. So, like, you haven't had classes with the same people all day since middle school, and now we're, like, all together. We're in close quarters. We know basically everything about each other because now there's social media in the mix
and we're
too.
adults
And you can do adult
whatever you
things
want.
Okay, so it's like the drama is so much better than it was in middle school. Now I'm just like, oh my gosh,
better.
Everybody is so petty. It's just like, what are you even gonna do?
I mean, it's just like a distraction, I guess, from everything else.
But it makes me kind of sad because you can tell that it gets to some people, and I'm sure some of this is like not true at all, and a lot of it is just like filling in the gaps. You know, like if you feel like you don't really understand a person or like you don't get something, I think someone tends to make something up and you're like, oh, that sounds right, like let's stick with it. And now everybody says like all of these things about this person, but like you don't even know,
right? And
no one ever goes to the source. Have you noticed that? Like, no one's ever, like, because you're like, oh, don't tell anybody. That's the other thing. Every piece of gossip is literally followed with, okay, but don't tell anybody. And you're like, okay, I won't.
But, and then you do.
Yeah,
because that's
like, someone told you don't tell anybody, and then you told me, so obviously, like, this isn't
not
that big of a deal.
Yeah. So, in summation, we loved law school.
We love law school. Oh, my gosh. It would probably be a lot easier if everybody just minded their business, but please don't.
But I genuinely do love the people in our class, in our
every
section.
Single one of them.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard because I really do. I mean, in this short period of time, I do feel really close to a lot of people. And I think that's just part of like the human condition is like having people you're close to.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Camp. Like, you know when you go to camp and you immediately make best friends with, like, everybody there because you're in close quarters and you don't really have any other option?
Yes.
Like, that's what law school is.
Like, for our listeners, Joy and I were both camp counselors at separate camps. Yeah. But
right?
100%,
right?
that's it. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I've heard camp, and then someone else is like, law school's kind of just like Jersey Shore. Like, you were.
Where the situation is getting arrested for tax evasion?
Yes. Yes, we're all evading taxes because you don't have to pay taxes on loan money, do you? I hope not. Yikes.
I don't know. I said that because the situation.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, we're not doing
I'm mad that his name's in the situation. Anyway,
Mike, if you will.
I will. But you were just saying it's Jersey Shore? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's like. Or like Bachelor in Paradise, where you're like, it's literally, you're in such close quarters. There's literally nothing to do other than like hook up with each other or like gossip about things and drink. Like,
I'd prefer Big Brother because we could like at least vote people off and there'd be strategy.
But we can't. We can't.
We can? How?
We cannot.
Oh.
We can't.
I was like, am I missing a part of this?
No. How would we even?
Oh, I don't know. It'd just be fun. I mean, the
curve votes.
No big law for you and you and you.
Honestly.
No.
Okay, that's my other thing. This is my last. Let's move on to Ipsa Dixit because it might be like a hot take.
Okay.
I know this is something that I personally struggle with, but I talked to a professor about it, and like everybody's not going to be in the top 10%. Like at the end of the day,
math, yeah.
Only the top 10% of the people are going to be in the top 10%. So I'm so tired of people being like, "Oh, you can't do anything if you're not top 10. Like you can't." Because
literally everyone should just drop out then. After
right?
After like first semester grades.
90% of us are going to drop out. And if we do drop out, then you're not even in the top 10% anymore.
Yeah.
So only the top 1% would be the top 10%.
Ooh,
so,
some tea.
Like, I don't know. It's all comparative. And obviously, it's really hard not to compare yourself to other people and be like, oh, well, how am I doing compared to this person?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say do your best because that's really like kitschy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not all gonna be the top 10%.
I mean, because you cannot do better than your best.
You just can't.
Yeah.
That's why it's your best.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you could have did better, you didn't do your best.
Yeah, and that's so like I know like for instance we just got our midterm back for towards, and I know like going into that I did my best, and I think my grade reflected that, and I was like totally happy with it.
Yeah.
And I know some people were not as happy with their grades.
Me.
Well, we haven't talked about that,
okay.
But I just know like I've talked to some other people that like
okay.
weren't as happy, and they felt like they did a good job. So,
yeah,
I'm just thinking from my perspective, it could be so much worse.
Honestly.
Like, I could have gotten a worse grade having tried my hardest.
See, I think I need to start looking at it that way. Because I tend to approach life thinking, oh, I could always do better. I could always do better. But maybe I need to just be like, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like, I could have done so much worse. I didn't do terrible.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
think that's a good way to do it.
We'll try. That's my goal for the week, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay,
I'll let
good.
you know.
Good. I'll keep you honest, because how often do you come up to me saying, I just need to be held?
All the time. I just need to, if there's someone listening that just wants to come hold me at any given time, like, I just need...
Tweet us at Bad Beaches.
Oh, okay. If anyone is listening and, like, has a plug for a sponsor for, like, weighted blankets, hit me up. Because
Yeah.
I think I get the same sensation with weighted blankets. I think it's, like, anxiety, and I just need to, like, feel confined.
Okay, someone was telling me yesterday that they, that one of their ex-boyfriends, he wasn't claustrophobic, he was claustrophilic. So he
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know, I was like, like, what does that entail?
Run.
He's like, right? No, like really neat, liked being like enclosed in like a lot of blankets, and like would sometimes just like sit in the closet.
I think that's me.
Yeah,
I really
just like
think that is me.
Like it leaves that anxiety like being like swaddled almost.
Yes.
So I could see it.
I think it's the only child in me. I was held a lot as a child. And now I'm not getting that same attention. Because when I'm at home, I can ask my mom for roughly like 9 million hugs a day. And I will get them. Now, where are my hugs? You know?
Me?
You. We don't even hug. It's like you're just holding me. Yeah. That's what I need.
That's basically it.
Oh, man. Okay, do you have a hot take?
Do I?
I don't know. Okay.
I don't think so.
We're not doing closing arguments this week because we had a closing argument about it off
we had an argument about whether or not we would do closing arguments.
We both agreed that we're too delirious.
Yeah. I don't have it in me to argue right now. It's Sunday.
Yeah, literally. This is the first time recording on a Sunday, and it is so nice.
I love it.
And we're doing this every time. So
yeah, from now on, we're going to record on Sundays.
Expect new episodes on Sunday, but do not be needy about it.
Yeah. Because we really did try. We aimed for Monday this week, and then we aimed for Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then we knew we weren't doing it on Friday. So
here we are.
Sunday.
I think we actually tried to do it on Friday during the lunch. Didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we did, but that didn't happen.
That wasn't a thing.
So, yeah.
This was good. This
was
therapy.
good.
I kind of like it when it's just us sometimes.
Me too.
Maybe
I think
we should do like an every other.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to run out of guests eventually.
That's true.
Yeah, so I like a good sit down with Joy and Justin.
I know. I love some good J&J quality time.
Y'all know the deal. Follow us on social media at Bad Breaches. That's on Twitter.
On Twitter.
We're not on Instagram yet.
Oh, I'll make an Instagram.
We'll do that. Okay.
By the time you're listening to this, we'll probably have an Instagram.
Yeah. Good.
If not, just check back periodically. Tweet us at Twitter that I still haven't made an Instagram.
Yeah. Until Joy does it. Email us at badbreaches@gmail.com if you have any ideas for topics you'd like to hear, or if you yourself would like to be a guest. We'd love to hear from you.
You can shoot us an email.
That's what I just said.
Oh. Well, yeah, then you can do what Justin just said. You guys, we are so tired, okay? I am so tired, and I just need to get away. I need a vacation.
Look, same.
Okay. If you are a potential... Never mind. I'm not even going to say that.
I know where you're going.
I'm not even going to have that be put out into the universe.
And if you are a potential... email me.
All right, it's been fun. It's been real fun. And we're gonna go.
Bye.
Bye.